Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Geonosian Warriors for Star Wars Legion. We'll be doing an unboxing. We'll show you everything that comes in this box, the sprues, the cards, everything is in here. We'll be also building these miniatures, and you get to see a look at how they look assembled. So very fun stuff. If you guys haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the links in the description below. You'll also find a link to our sponsor today, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens. Check out luxuryplaystyle.com for these amazing double-sided awesome gaming tokens. You can use code Crabbok VIP while you're there. You'll save 15%. Orders that use that code and spend $35 or more will get a free Crabbok token thrown in while supplies last. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and get these opened up, and we'll take a look at everything that comes in this box. It's so nice to finally have some new product for Legion hitting the store shelves, and it's lovely to be able to have a different take on separatists, right? This is very cool. So we have our little poster here. We have our credits sheet right here, and we also have a little if you want to get your little rules build instructions all right there. We've got some bases. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases. We have our cardboard and some cards, and we have our sprues. Let's get all these out of the bags. All right, so first we've got our cardboard here. We've got 4 dodges, 3 aims, 4 wounds, and our core token. I don't know why they give you 4 wounds, since these are single wound miniatures. They don't really need wound tokens for them, but I guess it's something to put on here that happened to fit within the cardboard. All right. I think the tokens, people who are playing the game by now probably have an abundance of tokens, but I feel like there's probably different ones they could have done instead of wounds. We've got our sprues here, so we're going to take a look at the larger one. We have a smaller one also. We've got the wings on there. These are pretty cool looking wings. And they look like they have a lot of connection, a little bit of meat here at the base too. So I was afraid they were going to be really, really fragile and would break off very easily. And of course they certainly could, but they're connected a little bit more before they actually split off. And so they're a little more solid and meatier at the base here where they connect. So I think that they're actually going to have a decent amount of strength to where if you're moving them around, picking them up and handling them a lot, it looks like they're going to stay together pretty well. Which is a very good thing. So, nice job to AMG on trying to come up with a sculpt for these guys that would work and not be too flimsy. So that looks good. And of course, we'll see once they're all together. But I have strong feelings that they're going to look really good. I think, are these the heads right here? I'm not sure. We've got another sprue. We're going to get all these together anyway, so we're going to see them all in better detail here shortly. We've got some wider spread wings here. We've got all kinds of insect bits. These are going to be real interesting to try to get together. So I do like the way that they're numbered though. Like a whole miniature will be like all the D's, and then you have the E's, and then you have the C's, and so on and so forth. It just makes it a lot easier to try to fit them together and get organized. All right, we got some cards to look at. Let's look at these cards. We've got our Geonosian Warriors. Here's just the back. No special rules on the back, just flavor text. So if you want to read that, you can pause the video now. And then we've got our Geonosian Warriors card here. There are 45 points. They are a separatist core. Like I've mentioned before in other preview videos, they are not mercenaries. So it's not just a sub-faction. It's not just a battle force of Geonosians. Although they have said that they are going to do a battle force that will come out after these guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear about that very soon. Probably Adepticon at the latest. But they're 45. They can only take a heavy and personnel, so no special upgrades for these guys. Jump 3 as a free action, which is massive. Free movement action, which basically effectively kind of gives them 3 actions per turn, right? They have scale, they have death from above, and weighed down. Scale we've seen already. Death from above and weighed down are new. Death from above basically means if they're above you and they're attacking down, then you get to basically ignore cover. Kind of like think of somebody below you on a barricade, and you're kind of shooting straight down at them. The barricade's not going to help. And then weighed down, if they have a claimed objective keyword, they can't use the jump keyword. a claimed objective token. So this way, they're not going to be able to run away with an objective very, very easily. They're a 1 health, 1 courage, white save, a white die, defense die, with a surge to block. So not super survivable, equivalent to rebel troopers in that regard. They don't have the greatest guns, but they have 2 dice gun, which is pretty good if they're, but it's only range 1 to 2. And I think this is actually really good because of the fact that they have that extra jump 3, so they can get up close and personal much easier. So the fact that they can they can close the gap so quickly, range 2 is probably not going to be much of a problem for them. But they don't have a surge to hit. But I guess I would rather have a whole nother die as opposed to just a surge to hit. So Sonic Blasters seem pretty good. That's yeah. And then they have a black die for melee, which also isn't half bad. All right. For their personnel, it's just going to be the Geonosian Warrior. 11 points for just 1 more mini. Nothing special about that. We've got 2 heavy options. So we'll start off with the Sonic Cannon Warrior. So the Sonic Cannon Warrior here is going to be 25 points. Also range 1 to 2. So it's in sync with the Sonic Blasters. And this one has an extra red die in addition to the blue, or the white and the black already. The blue dice now. But yes, so Sonic Cannon Warrior comes in there. It also has Scatter and Impact 1. So Impact 1 would be nice if you do have to deal with a little bit of armor. At least gives you something, and maybe in all of those dice you had a natural crit or 2 also. But Scatter, I think, is the bigger point of this one. Scatter is just such a cool keyword, allowing you to kind of pull a lot of the units, a lot of the miniatures in an enemy unit out from cover, usually denying cover to that unit and possibly setting up somebody to charge. I could see that being something nice to pair with someone like Count Dooku or Sash Ventress if they wanted to get in there and engage somebody that might have been just a little too far away. It's always fun for that. We also have this Force Pike Warrior. Well, maybe I should start it on this side. Force Pike Warrior is 15 points. It's a double-sided card. The other cards are not double-sided, by the way. And the Force Pike Warrior gives you a red and a black in melee. And they are also suppressive, which is nice. It's a decent little melee presence, and having suppressive in melee is always fun. But when you get to move, you get to flip this card. So if you're moving, you're running through somebody, you flip them over, and now all of a sudden you've got the overrun attack. Overrun 1 and suppressive also, and it's going to be a black and 2 white, which is a very, very cool ability. So if you want to have some flexibility, I mean, this is a tough one. It really is, because I'm thinking to myself, I really like the Sonic Cannon Warrior. It's a little bit better dice. It works into the ranged a little bit. But the Force Pike Warrior gives me that overrun attack, and they don't usually have that on troops, which is really cool. Overrun's still a pretty rare keyword. And the other thing is, he can still roll the Sonic Blaster. So for 10 less points, he still gets 2 of the 3 of this guy's dice, because he could just use the Sonic Blasters that are already on the unit, right? So, you know, really, it's just 1 red die you're losing. You're saving 10 points, and you're getting a better melee attack. So you're getting, you know, 2 extra white dice in melee. You are losing Scatter, though, and Impact. But you're getting suppressive and overrun. So it's very interesting. I think the Force Pike Warrior is probably the more valuable unit here. But of course it is situational and circumstantial. It depends on the build. I think if I'm going with like Dooku or Ventress or something like that, I'd probably want Scatter. And maybe other builds, I'll want this guy. But then again, it also depends how much impact I have in the list. If I have very little impact, I might need these guys to kind of make up for that a little bit. But the easier answer would just simply bring, an impact unit or 2 that are more, higher impact, or maybe maybe bring a vehicle. That's always a thing. Anyway, it seems pretty cool. I like having the choice. These 2 seem pretty well competitive against each other, and it'll be a little bit more list dependent or build dependent. Let's go ahead and get the miniatures put together. All right, so these guys are all built, and we're gonna show them to you here. We've got our little pike guy here, and he's got. But he comes out. That spear comes out really far, don't you think? Like that's like almost 3 miniatures worth. So he's going to take up a lot of board room. He's still a little wet. I just finished putting him together. We've got, I think this is the leader right here. The leader is kind of up on like a root, jumping. There really are kind of only 5 models in this kit, even though there's 7. There's 7 miniatures. There's only 5 different sculpts. So you're looking at this is the heavy. Which one is this? This is the Sonic Cannon Warrior right here. He's got a bigger gun. I have him kind of jumping, aiming it down, right, doing that death from above. Look, he's also on a root. We may cover up some of the roots with different basing material. And then our 4 like basic troopers, their wings are downward. They're not in a flying pose. There's only 2 different versions of these guys, and they both look very, very similar. So there's this version, and then there's this version, and then there's 2 of those. I think the only real difference is the position of like the legs are bent slightly differently, and then the hands are on the weapons slightly differently. You have a little bit of flexibility on where you want to put the heads, though. The heads can sort of angle in any direction you want. Not much flexibility on the wings. On the arms, you can kind of raise the weapons up and down a little bit, and the wings kind of lock in place, so not much there. Where really the heads and the legs are the places that you have the most flexibility. These do take some time to set and dry, though. I like putting the legs in. They have a very, very small connecting piece, so you really, like if you're using the thin set stuff, like the Tamiya extra thin that I use, you got to give it extra time to set really good. But then again, at the same time, you putting those feet in, and you want just a little bit of give, so that you can get them kind of standing in the right pose, because you don't want your feet to like not be flush with the ground a lot of times. So there we go. We've got 4 of these guys, 2 of one, 2 of the other, but they're all kind of the same. They look very, very similar. Then we've got our Sonic Cannon, our leader, and then our Force Pike guy right here, and they're looking pretty good. All right, that's going to do it for our Geonosian Warriors unit expansion. Hopefully this gave you everything you need to know about what comes in the box. Look for more Star Wars Legion content here on the channel in the coming future. Stay tuned. Plenty of Legion news coming out this year, plus lots of big hype for Adepticon and all of the announcements that are going to come out of that. It'll be very, very exciting. Hopefully you guys stick around. I'd love to see you in the future. Make sure you click that bell for alerts and share the video, like the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. The spice must flow. So say we all, and always wash your socks.